Alright, how's it going? Jam's going a little long today. Hello everyone, my name is Brock, and this is Just Jammin', where I play guitar and kind of talk about a topic. Oof. So today, we're going to be talking about, this is a working title, so I might change it later, but why it's harder than ever to be heard as an independent artist. I'm thinking that's gonna be the good YouTube title there. Semi clickbaity in a way of like, of course, a couple hundred years ago, no one's ever gonna hear your music kind of thing unless you're one or two people, right? And you're a composer or something. But I'm talking about my lifespan of 20 something years old, and probably for most of you up to like 60 or 70 or whatever, you know, like we've had a full breadth of discovering artists and music shifting and everything like that. So it's gonna be a big topic, which is why I kind of cut the jam a little short today. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about this because obviously I am independent artist right now. I'm not signed to any label, so I kind of self-fund all my music. So it's gonna be talking about my experience, obviously, but how that also plays into the broader context of what I'm seeing. So it's gonna be slightly anecdotal, but also I have some things written down in terms of analytics and stuff that I've Googled ahead of time. Again, I'm a stranger on the internet, so if this changes completely your opinion, please do your own research. Okay. Promise? All right. So, yeah, we're going to talk about how do you get discovered, right? I think before the path obviously was, there were gatekeepers, just like now there are gatekeepers. They're just shifted. So why is it harder than before? Well, I think one, at least the gate was known, right? Where I had to go to a label to record in, this building because they have all the equipment. So at least it was like a very easily, okay, if I want to become a musician, I have to get into the studios, right? I have to send demo tapes to the labels. I have to do all this stuff. But now it's a little different where you as a person have to develop an audience first, which I think is honestly the hardest part, which is, why a label was a thing in the first place, right? Because all the hard parts about finding an audience, supposedly, if you have like 10 people in a room trying to figure out, okay, how does me, Brock, get an audience, one of the people there is probably gonna know how to do the marketing, or like, oh, what art would you like on your cover album? Okay, we'll go get a photographer, we'll get all this stuff set up, we'll get you some press clippings and all that stuff. So at least there was like a path. Obviously the gate was way harder to get, I think. So the advantage of now is that obviously you can make music in your bedroom, right? You can have a small team making songs that sound pretty good, and those can blow up just because it connects with people, and that's all great and everything. But why is it harder? Kind of talking generally, I want to put like in the thumbnail a picture of an iceberg, right? And I think this is a great way of looking at almost everything you see on the internet, is that you're only looking at the top of an iceberg. This is a pretty common topic in a lot of internet videos, so I expect people that have been around for a while to understand this natively. But if you don't, just like an iceberg works, where you only see the top of the above the water, basically. But the vast majority of the volume of an iceberg is under the water, right? It sits under it. The Titanic, right? They hit it, even though they like on the top probably thought they were gonna go by it. So that's all to say that there's a lot more things underwater, as in aka never to be seen as before. So I think competing, which it is, right? You're competing for people's attention at the end of the day, is way harder just because of the mass of amounts of things that are under the water, as in never will be seen by a majority of people, right? So in terms of numbers, in case we'll just bring up some numbers. So I've talked about this a couple times in these videos, but nearly 80% of all Spotify users have under 50 people. So I'm an artist, I post to TikTok, whatever, Spotify, all this stuff. I have less than 50 people that listen to me per month. And that was from 2022. Okay, I couldn't find an updated statistic. I'm sure it's way worse now. So that's another thing to think. And this same thing goes to YouTube, right? Like, I think I average 50 views on these videos. So just imagine how many YouTube videos are posted each day. It's like hundreds of thousands, probably millions at this point. It's been a while since I looked at those numbers. And not many people are gonna see a lot of those videos, right? So it kind of just emphasizes the iceberg comparison. Going off that, so Netflix even said like their biggest competitor is sleep too. So not only is there a massive amount of content out there, but you also have to compete for everyone's attention, who's like shifted in multiple ways. Like not everyone has time to invest into everything, right? So there's like also a problem of just human attention, right? Human attention kind of stays the same in terms like of, you just think of population, like how many people are consuming content from day to day. It's pretty stagnant, but the amount of content that's available always is increasing, right? So I think it's a hard thing to visualize, but if you imagine, I'm a person, I have 18 hours in a day that I'm awake. So in those 18 hours a day, how much of that am I consuming content, right? And relative to how much content is available. So I think that's always going to be the issue of the internet now, is that there's so much available and the same amount of people that have the same amount of attention. Oh, sorry that was confusing. So I think that's part of the problem, is that it's just discovering something you have to kind of bake into an audience. So my job as an independent artist now is to drive people to go listen to my songs by myself, which is hard, again, because as someone that has small numbers relatively, it's hard to get the social credit, basically, of wow, okay, this is popular, so I must go listen to this because it is becoming popular. I do think a lot of people bandwagon on things because it's already validated by people already that say, hey, this is good. So if thousands of people are telling you gotta go check out this song, then you're way more likely than just finding it on your feed, right? And talking about feed, that's another problem, is that music discovery is purely algorithmic and not really on the platforms that you consume music. So what I mean is, most people listen to music on Spotify. If you're Apple Music, hey, shout out. I'm also on there too. But the algorithm of discovery for most people is on another platform. And so as an independent artist, you have to post to, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and hope that those people leave the platform to go to Spotify to listen to your song or add it to your playlist. And someone might be saying, well, no, I listen to Discover Weekly or Release Radar every week, which is awesome. Most people probably don't do that, but that is also only after passing the validation of Spotify, if that makes sense. So if you have thousands and thousands of streams in a short time and you just released a song, chances are you probably get pushed out to Discover Weekly. But Discover Weekly is again, you have to have an audience that listens to your songs a lot before even putting on Discover Weekly. So, but again, it's do you blame Spotify for not pushing out every song algorithmically and seeing over time if this is good? They don't really have an incentive to push new users to find songs that they don't validate with attention, right? So if a song has 100 streams, why would I send that out to 1,000 people randomly to see if they like it or not? I mean, as Spotify, again, you're competing for attention. So I would rather Discover Weekly the Weeknd song, or Noah Kahan's dropping an album, so probably Noah Kahan's gonna be all over Discover Weekly and all that stuff. So there's again, just imagine an iceberg, right? That's kind of what you're playing with. So the hardest part is getting above the water here now. So again, it's not harder than ever in a way, but in my lifetime, it definitely feels like it's definitely harder ever to do that. So the last thing that I'm gonna briefly touch on, this is gonna be a long video, so again, most of you have clicked off by now, so that's okay. But for those of you that are sticking around, the last thing we want to talk about is how AI makes this even worse. Again, I don't want to create. There's a lot of doom about AI. Okay, I don't want to feed into that doom. It will get resolved, hopefully, if you're a creative. They're gonna figure out a way to detect it better, but it's bad right now. So I think that's valid to say. So not only has Spotify removed almost 100 million tracks, that was from 2025, they removed 75 million of just AI generated songs. But LA Times quotes that 40% of all new music is completely AI generated that's uploaded to Spotify, which is insane. So not only do you have to compete with fellow musicians, so all the 80% under 50 monthly listeners, to hopefully break through that barrier to get above the water. But now you also have to compete with almost half of all those songs being completely AI generated. And the unfortunate reality is that, the AI generated songs are algorithmically, like, probably good, right? They have completely quantized. They have lyrics that completely rhyme. There's no like weird artistic choices. It's very probably just straight on good songs in terms of like what people would probably just consume passively, which is, again, most of how people consume music nowadays, which is passively, right? You're doing something else, which is unfortunate, but that's the reality of it right now. So again, like, you just have to compete with so much stuff, and this is, I feel like I've seen a lot of videos like this on the internet, so I'm just kind of giving my own take on it and hopefully trying to put that into like a condensed version, as someone that is trying, and just kind of talking about how difficult it is, and then maybe if some people don't know some of the numbers, like maybe educating people on how difficult it is to just like get seen. And that's kind of the only reason why you release art, right? Like it's great that like this song that I have that I was playing over was Trees to Climb, just part of the chord progression of that song. And that's a really vulnerable song for me. It's it's about growing up. It's about feeling sad about life directions and all. It's a very, very heavy song, and is super vulnerable to put out there. But that's the reason why you put art out, is like hopefully discovering other people that share similar experience, or go, wow, this helped me with XYZ. Like the human connection of why we make art. I think that's important. And not to say like if you keep all your songs for yourself, that's not a bad thing. But I think choosing to distribute it and like hopefully getting the reach is like most of the reason why people make art in general, is just to connect with other people. So this is a big topic, and I feel like I rambled pretty hard, so if you're still with me, wow, good on you. But yeah, if you're also a fellow independent musician, let me know what you think about this. I mean, I don't think it's a reason to stop, I guess, is also a main point I want to talk about. Just because it's hard right now does not mean it's always going to be hard, or it could get worse. I mean, that's also a possibility, but I don't think so. I think people are realizing just what they want to consume, right? Again, I think people are realizing how much attention they give to things, and what do they want to consume? Do they want to go out and go to an open mic or a jam, or go see a small artist? Like, I think more and more people might start making that decision instead of scrolling on TikTok for 8 hours, right? I think that's a very realistic possibility that people start. I mean, we're already seeing it with like dumb phones and stuff that have been popping up, that people are choosing to reimagine what they want to consume. So yeah, big topic, big video. Again, if you like that stuff, go check out. If you like that intro jam, I guess if you like the music I create, go check out my music. And if not, let me know what you think about the topic. And if you're also an independent artist, let me know, have you seen any difference? I definitely have, in terms of the songs I place. Like, not to go on another tangent, but hey, this is already 19 minutes long, so but I definitely feel like some of my songs that are algorithmically better suited, like very repetitive, yeah, those have done better for me. So I'm curious to see if anyone else has discovered that too, and do they lean into it, or do they say, hey man, I'm gonna create my art the way I create my art, which is what I want to do. So anyways, geez, okay, have a good one, see ya.